Hello, everyone. Today, I want to talk about decisiveness. It's such an important aspect of what we do every day, not only in our lives, but in business. So let me start by sharing my screen and sharing a quotation that really means a lot to me. Let's look at that quotation. It is in your moments of decision that your destiny is written. And indeed, if you think about it, every day we're making thousands of choices, some conscious, some unconscious, some are habitual, but we're always making choice. And in business, our choices impact not only us, but they impact other people. So what is decisiveness? It's the willingness to make decisions, the need for control, and the level of comfort with decision-making responsibility. Now, if you look at the key words here, decision-making, control, and responsibility. If you are comfortable with these, you may assume that everyone else is, but that's not true. Not everyone is comfortable with this. So what are the things that affect our decision-making quality? First, your business EQ and your comfort zone. Where are you on the line from 1 to 10? Are you a 10, which means you make fast decisions and you're comfortable with that? Or are you a 1 and you're very cautious and careful and definitely not comfortable with a 10? If you're a 10, you're not comfortable with a 1. Another thing that affects our decision making is what are our needs? Are we more in need, for example, of certainty? Or are we people who are adventurers and looking for variety? See how that would affect the kind of choices you make. Or your values. Are you someone who covets your independence? Or are you someone who wants to have honesty and make sure everything is correct? Perfectionist, for example. Or are you after power? That would also affect your unconscious choices because our values are the deepest level that inform how we choose. And your decision-making style. Do you like to make decisions alone in an autocratic way? Or are you more democratic? Do you involve people? Do you listen to them? And your mood, which is at the moment that you're making the decision, the kind of blood chemistry and hormone balance in your body. So actually chemical composition of your blood affects how you choose. So it's not straightforward. It's pretty complicated. When we think of the line in our business EQ, there are people who tend to prefer an advisory role. Others want a controlling role. And look at the difference. The advisory role are the kind of people who prefer to take it nice and easy when they make a decision. Slow, information-oriented. They prefer to have an advisory role. They don't want to be in the front. They're comfortable with certainty, with clarity and detail. And once the decision is made, they're not very anxious to change it. Now, the fast decision makers are different. They're action-oriented. They prefer to have a controlling role. They want to be in the lead, and they're comfortable with uncertainty, ambiguity, and just the big picture. And if things don't work out, they are quite happy to take the responsibility to change their decisions. Now, is one better than the other? Absolutely not. Just think of the situation where you're making your decisions. If there's a building on fire and you need to make choices, they're very, very different than if you're tackling a very sensitive lawsuit where millions of dollars in damages could be incurred. So there is no right and wrong. The situation determines what is optimal. Now, to improve your business EQ, here is what you can do practically. When you're making a decision with your team, clearly present the matter that needs a decision without offering a solution at first, because you want it to be clear what you're talking about, and you want people to know what kind of outcome you're looking for, not the solution, but what results do you want to get. Second, invite other people to offer suggestions before you give your opinion, because then if you give your opinion, there's a risk of getting groupthink and people following the leader and not really voicing their own views. Third, write down what people propose so they can see that you've taken it seriously. Use a virtual whiteboard or a flip chart if it's live. It validates what they've said. 4, make sure that everyone in the meeting is invited to speak up, especially the quiet ones. Extroverts tend to naturally dominate the meeting, but as a leader, you need to invite the quieter ones who may be more reflective and in some ways think more reflectively about a situation. Invite them to speak, give them the space to do so. And then when everybody has given their opinions, identify the key themes and come up with the solutions that look most feasible. You may have 2 or 3, and this is where you can give your input and discuss what are the key themes. And finally, ask for feedback or concerns and come up with a clear final decision that looks most feasible to everyone. And most important of all, document it, confirm it, let people know this is the decision so people don't leave the meeting and come up with their own interpretation. This is a fascinating subject. And as we said, there is no right or wrong. Your degree of decisiveness is a choice. You can choose to be a 2 or a 5 or a 10, depending on the situation.